Hey everyone, it's psychic medium jojoempathic here, doing a pop-up reading show tonight. My cord just fell. Okay, let's plug this back in. Hold reach. Let's see. Hope everyone is doing well today, and I hope we get some viewers tonight. This is a pop-up. It's random. I didn't advertise. Hey Jasmina. So tonight's show is actually, I'm going to do $10 readings. So it's one question for $10, 3-minute answer, or two questions for 15 for a 6-minute answer. So I go ahead and post this in here. Let's see here. And then I'm going to put my, hey everyone, so happy you're here. Do we get on YouTube Friday nights? Let's see, and Venmo. So I do appreciate your donation. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I have my cards here. I was hoping to do live evidential mediumship readings tonight. Like if you have a loved one on the other side, I would just need your name and their first name. And this includes pets too. But I'm open to any question. So soulmate, work, health, aura, spiritual clearing, energy healing, whatever you guys want tonight. So I will be looking at my timer more than I usually do for free readings to make sure I'm giving you the full 3-minute read. And usually 3 minutes per question is it's enough. So how are you guys doing today? Let's see. So we have Jasmina here, would like a reading, hearts. Okay, so just submit your payment and then drop your question and first name in the live chat. And then we also have Aisha Rez. What does Dr. F think of me after I told him he is 2 years younger to me? So once you submit your payment, just let me know how you submitted it, and then first name and question. And any person of interest, I just need their first name too. So welcoming anyone that would like a reading tonight. So I'm not too tech savvy. If you're in the chat watching me do this right now, I meant to type in the emoji. Oops. Okay, so we'll see who tunes in. Please share this video if you know anyone that would like a reading. So my video that's going to drop tomorrow, I have a little snippet in there talking about how we get into soul traps and how soul traps are the complete opposite of following your soul's purpose and life contract. And in there's a little segment where I'm like, how is it 2026 and we feel that speaking with our loved ones on the other side is evil? Like, how is that possible in 2026? But it is. A lot of people fear speaking to their loved ones that have transitioned. And it's not only fear, a lot of times because of indoctrination, we ignore the other side. So our loved ones, after we pass and transition, from what I believe and see, the soul is eternal. It goes on. There are multiple dimensions, and we are multidimensional beings from our brains to our souls. So when we carry on and we transition higher, there's no identity as much as there is soul, okay, and love. And so our loved ones do come back because of soul agreements, and you may call this like ancestral lines, your bloodline, friends, family, and yes, your pets too are spirits, their souls, they continue on in the other side. They come back with an infinite amount of wisdom. They come back without the filters. So a lot of times, if we have loved ones that we had really hard relationships with on Earth, a lot of that's cleansed in the process of death of their dimensional body. And so there's just love, unconditional love. That is very true about the other side. Um, and so when they come through to guide us, it's very specific and it's on time. And they're not always with us. So we like to believe like our loved ones that have transitioned are always with us. It's not true. They go on and have other contracts, different reincarnations, different cycles, but they do come back to give healing, to give guidance, to give love, reassurance, and then they go on. And so we don't want to ignore that from the other side because that'll actually block your flow in the physical dimension, in the 3D. So your work, your relationships, your money, your health can all be blocked from blocking the light. We don't want to do that. So it's really important, especially in 2026 with access to the internet and courses and training. I mean, you can get digital training on spirit communication. Invest in your spiritual development so that you can hear from the other side and you're not ignoring your loved one coming through to give you guidance and love. You won't block the light. So the next time when you're praying and praying and tapping into your heart and saying, I need answers, and you feel blocked, this is one of those underlying reasons why, is because when we ask spirit for guidance, angels can show up, your spirit guides can show up, loved ones from the other side can show up, and they're all different entities. Okay? And so if the answer comes through deceased, let's say parent on the other side, and we're turned off to it, there was your answer. There was the guiding light that came at divine time to give you that answer. And we turned off from it. So we don't want to do that. And it leaves us blocked. When loved ones come through, they give us energy. And it comes in through the crown or the heart. And so we need to process that and communicate with it in order to stay clear, balanced, and grounded. So when loved ones come through, we don't notice, or because it usually sounds like our own thoughts, we ignore it or write it off as like imagination. And when we do that, we become blocked with stagnant energy. We don't want to do that, not in 2026. Hi, Marijana. Tonight I'm doing a paid show tonight, but just to let you know, I did send healing prayers last night. I wasn't really connecting at the end when you had asked for prayer, and I just hopped off. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to send a prayer request. So right after I sent healing prayers to you, you're so welcome. So yes, tonight, any questions for spirit? $10 for 3-minute answer, 15 for 6 minutes. It's a good deal. And then I'll definitely watch my timer here to make sure I'm giving you the full 3 or 6 minutes. And if you just tune in, I do want to do evidential mediumship tonight. It's really speaking to me, but I'm open to taking any questions that you have for spirit. So I think that a lot of times with indoctrination, why we feel like it's evil to talk to loved one, or necromancy, like to speak to the dead, they're not really dead. Okay. And here's the thing, we're all interconnected and there's a communication web going at all times. It never stops or turns off, unless you're, going to sleep, and getting into a different state. Our communication is constant among all of us. And intuition is something that we actually all have. It's not a gift. A lot of people think that I'm gifted in intuition. And one of the things that I learned when I actually studied psychic development is not a gift. It's something that we all have as an intelligence field. So we want to use it for our advantage. And mediumship is part of that. So it helps us to understand the communication that we have with all things. So mediumship is it's really energy reading. When you tap into your mediumistic abilities, you're able to not only talk to spirits that are alive and deceased, but you're also able to kind of hear the rhythm and sound of all fields. So psychic ability will help you to tap into quantum fields and target. So you can tap into objects, that's called psychometry. You can remote view, it's really clairvoyance. Um, but mediumistic ability also allows you to tap into the clairaudience and hear energy fields and hear spirit communication. And it's super important because a lot of times people that have a heightened mediumistic ability tend to not know that they have a mediumistic ability because it does sound like your own voice in your thoughts. And this can run into a lot of issues with mental health. Okay. And so we often will call this a sensitivity. So if you are going through a period where you notice that you have intuition, you hear subtle signs and messages from spirit, and you want to develop this understanding further, work with me. 2026, I'm totally focused on working with individuals that are ready to step into empowerment with their intuition versus just kind of be fed information or told what to do. I think that it's important as we evolve to get this power back in our hands versus always kind of outsourcing others to speak with our loved ones on the other side for us, speak to our spirit guides for us, our angels for us, to be able to tap into our sacred agreements for us. This is our soul's work, our soul's language. So it's something that we all need to be able to do for ourselves. Let's see here. Okay. Now, also, for a lot of us, our ancestors really appreciated and tapped into spirit communication. It has been a long appreciated skill um, for guides, for advisors, for people that are leading leaders, as well as it's a very feminine role, although clearly there's a lot of male prophets and philosophers. Intuition is something that women tend to be able to tap into a lot easier than men. Um, Due to our ability to tap more into the right hemisphere of our brain. We're more intuitive, whereas men are more left brain, more logical. So when we channel, that's essentially what we do is we tap into that side of the brain, we tap into that intelligence field, and we, with the discernment, are able to perceive the information we are connected to or storing or tuned into. And so it's a very natural process that we've fallen from. I think about like how often friends will talk among each other, and a lot of times we go to someone else for advice. We go to someone to tell us what to do or like how to live or what career we should have or who we should be with dating, who we should marry, like the whole 9 yards. So this is what we do in our culture. It is so normal to communicate, but I think where we've kind of fallen is lack of appreciation for psychic mediums because if you think about you going to advice to all these people that aren't able to really communicate with your higher mind or your spirit team, Maybe their third eye is blocked, their heart is blocked. They're not aware of the energetic and spiritual team, guidance team that's there for them. You're getting advice from someone who's really giving you potentially a biased answer. So I'm here to help normalize intuitive intelligence. I'm here to help normalize psychic advisors or psychic mediums, us healers, spiritual healers, because especially if we're trained in discernment or we feel that this is soul led, like a soul's purpose, or have an anointing, we are truly here to help be that channel and give and be of service. And so it's clean to go with a psychic medium for, let's say, something that's a huge transition in your life versus just someone that's just guessing or going off of their bias or third dimensional self. Okay. So I'm here to kind of just dismantle that and help us all be able to have a little bit more respect for soul and spirit and to tap into it ourselves, which is super important. So this will be a test trial 2 for me. It's 8 p.m. Central, and I'm gonna see because I feel like 8 p.m. starts to get busy on YouTube. We'll see. Um, so far, it doesn't seem appealing for people to pay for readings. Here's the thing, though. Do you know anyone that works for free? Probably not. Do you work for free? Probably not. So there's another myth with that light workers face is that we get judged for charging. And there's kind of like this myth that we're transcending that we shouldn't be well paid for our work. I see it all the time. People are like, oh, I do tarot, but I don't charge for it. I would never do that. And I'm just like, if this is really your calling and you're focused in this discipline, why would you not be compensated? It's life-changing work. I know with my clients that, sign up for my journeys, they're appreciative. They do multiple phases of the journey with me because they see the value and it helps them. And so it's really important to keep that in mind also for psychics and tarot card readers that, yes, we do charge for our work because we deserve it. So I usually do free readings. Tonight I'm doing a small $10 donation for a reading. I want to see if anyone is interested. So we're hitting 8:01. Let's see if YouTube Live starts getting busy. So on last night, like Thursdays around 8 p.m., it does feel like the traffic picks up around like 7:50 to 8:05. So I'm curious to see how this goes today. I'll never say like a prediction that it's not going to go well. No, I definitely don't want to predict that, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm just feeling evidential mediumship tonight. So I'm tuning in from Little Elm, Texas tonight. I'll be curious if you are tuning in on the live chat or after. Drop a comment where you're tuning in from. So everybody's kind of freaking out over the cold front. It's what, 35 degrees right now. But the thing about Texas, when it rains and it does get cold, it's pretty flat here, so it can be dangerous to drive. So everybody's like laying low this weekend in Texas. If you would like a reading, drop your question in the live chat. I will just need your first name and first name of any person of interest. Tonight, I'm looking to do evidential mediumship. So if you have a loved one on the other side, including pets, I'd love to give you a reading. So I am offering at a discounted rate tonight, $10 for one question with a 3-minute answer, or $15 for two questions with a 6-minute answer. Hello and welcome. Tonight I'm offering psychic mediumship readings. If you have a loved one on the other side you'd like to hear from, pets, friends, family in the light, I'd love to give you a reading, or messages from your spirit guides or angels. And I've also said this on lives before, so drop your question in the live chat. Any questions for Spirit Goes tonight, evidential mediumship, speaking with loved ones on the other side, including pets, medical, intuitive, soulmate readings, work and career, soul's purpose, spiritual abilities, or predictions for this year. In the description box, you'll see kind of the list of different options that I'm offering tonight. If you would like a private reading, you can book with me at jojoempathic.com. I also offer email readings on there, which are like recorded voice memos, which are email delivered to you within 24 to 48 hours. So those are good. But one of the things I was talking about was on my live chats, I've been talking about courses. I'm really curious, kind of going with the theme of empowering intuition this year, getting this power back in our own hands instead of someone telling you what your spirit guides are saying, you having that ability and tapping into it. If you're interested in learning psychic mediumship, tarot, or Reiki, drop a comment. Regardless of when you watch this video, let me know. And if you would like a reading tonight, I just need your first name and question in the live chat. I'm thinking about having a few different like master classes available from my website, all rooted in like intuition development. I do offer 6 classes that they're pretty short. They're not very long or in depth, but they are really good as part of my journey with JoJo. The 6-session package. So I'm considering making those public where you can just watch outside of the journey. If there's a spiritual class or spiritual development class you're interested in taking, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. I want to hear from you guys what you would like to learn. So whether that be remote viewing, psychometry, mediumship, psychic development, whatever it is, let me know. I want to hear from you guys. I also think like spiritual protection masterclass would be popular. That seems to be the common question. Like, how do I spiritually protect myself? A lot of times we feel attacked and we can like drown in the fear of feeling like someone's attacking or hexing us. So check out my book at jojoempathic.com and download the book. It'll go over spiritual protection if you're looking for different techniques to use. It's a really good book, but I am considering making a class just on spiritual protection. So if you'd like a reading tonight, just drop your first name and question in the live chat. A lot of times too, like I'm gonna keep with the free shows this year because I'm committed. But a lot of times when there's like free offerings like that, people take advantage. Like people will really take advantage on the last show. I don't know if you guys watched it, but like one of the first things I got for one of the people was like, there's something going on mentally. And then gave a great reading, the person's all happy, and then they retracted like all of their messages. And I'm just like, why do that? Why do it? Like, just be real. Just be real. So especially if it's free, it's like just support the channel. But so you gotta set boundaries in this work. It's super important with the spirit realm and in real life. And that's for all of us, right? That is for all of us. I'm also updating a meditation vault too that'll be available on my Etsy shop and website. So I've got a lot in store this year, in addition to staying committed to YouTube. I'm putting my bets in YouTube in terms of like social media that's going to be lasting here and all the shifts that we're going through. So I have on my Etsy shop, not on my website yet, but the womb portal chakra meditation. This one's really powerful. And I also have healing the witch wound meditation up there, spirit guide meditation, and inner child meditation. All of those are really good. But the witch wound, this one's a bit longer, I believe, because it helps you to really shame. So I know firsthand in this work, oh my gosh, I feel like I've never experienced so much shame in my life. The way that people look at you when they find out what you do, it's very shaming. People give you looks to let you know, like, they know what you are and they think you're evil and want nothing to do with you. So it's very difficult. And when it comes to the witch wound, it's usually a deep wound around shame for being authentic and being spiritual and going outside of the systems like of the medical system and healing yourself. So a lot of times this is what we would call like a witch wound. People are afraid to step into that part of themselves, the magical part of them, because of all of the shame and persecution too over all of the years, towards and for people that step outside the box, step outside the matrix, and own their own divinity and magic. I think it's awesome. So that meditation is really helpful to kind of bring you back in time to see, and this goes into past lives, I believe, on that one. Where did this deep wound begin? Where were you shamed for being yourself? Where were you told that you shouldn't be magical, or you shouldn't be spiritual, or you shouldn't be speaking to spirits on the other side? Where did that first wound occur? And when you can go back to that timeline and see it from a higher perspective and give yourself wisdom that you didn't have at that moment, you can close the timeline and move forward. And that's going to open you up to being a clearer channel for spirit. And ultimately, that's going to work in your favor. So, healing the witch wound meditation is super powerful. I love that one. So no, you don't have to resonate with being a witch to enjoy that one. It's really a deep shame healing meditation for those that have struggled with authenticity or spirituality or just their own magical essence. So if you're tuning in now, you can drop a question in the live chat. I'm doing $10 readings, 3-minute answer, and $15 two-question reading for 6 minutes. And I just need your first name. I want to touch a little bit more on the witch wound. I think it's crazy how, you can be attacked by Christianity. And then when you speak up for yourself, they tell you it's blasphemy. And I'm like, You were just like throwing rocks at me, and I'm standing up for myself, and I can't even do that. And it mirrors so deeply oppression, marginalization, racism. This was in 2025 was the first year that I had experienced somebody telling me that I should be so grateful for Donald Trump and all that he's done for the Black community, and that he's not a racist. And, how dare I even accuse that? And, how dare I say that the church is evil? Like, what is wrong with me? And so we feel very entitled to be obedient to these white male patriarchal systems that have destroyed literally civilization after civilization and stolen land. We see this happening right now. It's been happening, it's continuing to happen, and it rules. And unfortunately, unless we get a grip of that, it's going to continue to persist. So you have to really think for yourself. You have to learn how to think for yourself and step away from the patriarchal's push in every literal industry. From beauty, patriarchy has their hands on that. Health, they've got their hands in that. The church is right there, the Vatican and white men in robes. War industry, every industry, they're dominating. And, you know, it's important to call it out. It's important to even call out being called out for speaking up about it. And that's what astrologically we're under those skies that really give us that push and power to. There is a call from the universe for us to speak up on what's right and to stand for freedom and equality and human rights. So sad to see so many people silent in a time of great suffering on earth. It's not okay. And a lot of us are afraid to speak up because there's been such a push to quiet journalists, what they're doing. And Israel is probably going to mess with my algorithm. Horrific to journalists. There's reports of horrific things happening. And we're seeing this in America, punishment for speaking up and threats. And it's really awful. But one of the focuses of my work is in my mission and being in earth right now, on earth with my calling and my offerings, is to help us all evolve and be empowered so that we can see through with clear sight evil in its tracks and call it out with our voice, with our empowerment to bring a change forward. So intuition's at the core of your being. Your soul's language is so important that you understand. So important, especially at this time. If you're trying to figure out, why am I here in this madness? Why am I going through all of this? This is so hard to watch and bear. Think about it as in maybe you chose to incarnate at this divine time, on time and with a soul's purpose. And you want to find out what your unique skills and mission is. How can you serve more deeply? Because we need each and every one of us to help us all. We all need support. We all need a hand. And in the midst of all this, something very interesting that I've kind of internalized and tried to make sense of, like, feeling so angry and disgusted at cruelty that I'm seeing. I ask myself daily, and I was asking myself this today, it's like, how can I love more deeply? When I find myself wanting to kind of get into the ego of fear, control, manipulation, or greed, or judgment, I stop myself, and I've had to get better at this, and I encourage everyone to, and say, how can I love more deeply here? And today I just had like this huge revelation where it was like, I was faced with this MAGA person, and it was just like, I just feel so uncomfortable. I don't like the mindset. I will say that, and without regret, like, very clearly, I don't like the mindset. I think it's racist and hate driven and horrific. And This person is not just a stranger. I know this person. And although there's differences and I feel betrayed personally, Spirit was whispering to me, how can you love this person more deeply? And what will that, it's you're doing through love to another person, but the angels were like talking to me, like, what would that do for you? When you love this other person unconditionally, when you love this person so deeply, you see them as a human, you see them and their flaws and maybe dead wrong. Okay. On the other side, with the enemy, it's not like that with this person to that extreme. But nonetheless, you always have to kind of check yourself throughout the day, especially in these times. And if you're not going to love the other person, how can you love more deeply for you? Something to think about this week and through all of these times. Um, because the universe is interactive. It's like it's always watching. You can't hide from it. It's all that is. And so a lot of times we kind of go into secrecy, thinking that God or source or the universe isn't watching. You can't hide from all that is, because even if you go in the corner, that wall is connected to source. It's like you go and hide in your closet. All around you, the carpet, the walls, the clothes in there, it's all fabric of source. You can't run from source. So think of life like an interactive video game. And so whenever you're watching, it's Friday night. We're going on to almost 8:30 p.m. Central. It's the 23rd of January. As you're going through life this next week and you begin to feel frustrated, angry, maybe resentful, try to stop yourself and say, how is this a moment or a lesson where I can love more deeply? How can I do literally nothing or say nothing? Sometimes you don't have to always be speaking or responding. How can I just love? And just something just really shifted in my heart today when I had the angels saying that to me. And I'm like, it's so true. Like, why am I putting this wall up? It doesn't need to be there. I need to see this challenge that I'm facing as an opportunity for me to love more deeply, for me to understand love more purely, and also the power of forgiveness simultaneously with that. So the angels are really working on my heart chakra today, really working on my heart and mind, and through love. And so I encourage all of you, whenever you tune in this week, when you start to feel that bitterness, that's been a big one too with readings coming through. A lot of us, it's not just me, angry. Everybody in the world right now is like angry and astrological. There's a lot of Mars transits and everything, planet of war. And it is all around. So choose love. Choose love this week. Okay. And from an eagle's eye view it as in like, what is the lesson and like, how can I advance forward? A lot of times we just want to keep moving forward and forward and forward in life, but we haven't really graduated to that next level. We can't level jump. We have to do one stair at a time. Life is not about the destination. Life is about the journey. Okay, so being one with the present moment, loving the present moment, loving the journey. And I challenge you to say, how can I look at this week in life right now as spirit is always watching? I am spirit. I know that love is one of the highest vibrations I can exude, give, and receive. And I'm going to choose that. And I'm going to choose my peace. And I'm going to see this person as maybe a reflection of me or an aspect of me, or maybe someone that's just at a different level of consciousness than you. Okay. So see from an eagle's eye view your relationships this week and choose the higher vibration. You should be doing this always, but this week, keep it in mind and see if there's a shift for you. So far, no good in terms of readings. I was like, I really want to do evidential mediumship tonight. Um, so I hope that you've been enjoying the messages so far. If you watch this after the fact, I'm just kind of channeling a bit from spirit for whoever's tuning in. These are collective messages. Um, right now is it's a time where we really have to focus on peace. And essentially, if you look at the world right now, we're grieving. If you think about it, we're really grieving as a collective. I talked about anger and sadness and disgust, but we're also grieving deeply. This is a whole new world where we've never seen anything like this televised. We've never been so connected to our phones as we are in this moment. Instagram, where I can't even believe Instagram. I can't because it's surprising that so many people are so into posting every moment of their lives and everything that they're doing and so connected with so many people on a surface level, shallow. As interdependent beings, it's important we have connections. Yes. But certain apps like Instagram and where we're just seeing people we don't even talk to anymore, people from high school and like that are even in your life and you're seeing them every day. A lot of times, then you'll end up in my office or reaching out to me and saying, "Why don't I feel good?" Okay. The cords, the energy, it's too much. It's so a lot of times with our culture right now, we really have to find ways to connect that are authentic versus kind of the shallowness or surfaceness of the way we're connecting right now. It's not feeding our soul. We still feel alone at the end of the day. Although on our phones, we're sitting here connected to all of these people, all of these different places. And half the time, it's there's filters, Photoshop, AI. I mean, that's normal for photos. So someone could be crying in bed all day and decide to post a picture of a selfie that they look so great and whatever, and they don't even feel that way inside. We're not seeing the truth. And this is damaging. And I think that it's also causing further separation because we're not getting the real people all the time. We're not getting the soulful person. We're getting the I'm following a trend. I want to fit in. And a lot of it, I'm addicted to it. People have been posting their every move like for years, like on Instagram. I'm just amazed. This is how we entertain ourselves. We do a lot of things that we call empowerment in today's society that are not. They're just simply not. Now, social media, it's beautiful. It is so amazing. It's a freedom of speech tool. It's a freedom tool for artists and creative expression, freedom of speech and connection. And it's a very positive tool. Just like AI can be a very positive tool, but everything has like the dualistic side to it, to where social media can take a very dark turn, and it has. And we haven't really found solutions for um, the way it's making us feel and making young people feel. So in 2026, how can you have more authentic connections that are in real life? We are feeling more and more isolated than we ever have. That's a statistic, and that's around the world. We have to solve this crisis. Being interconnected, dependent, we do need that. What's happening is we're so codependent in our relationships these days. We're so codependent that it's very hard to. Have you ever been around someone that's extremely codependent? Like they're always in the text groups, the group chat, they're always on Instagram, they're always scrolling, they're always tell me what to do, and what do I look like, and how does it feel? It's like they don't think for themselves. And that for me is I repel it. I'm like, okay, Aquarius coming through, like, I love you, but from here, like, stay back. It's hard because it's a level of immaturity in a sense, emotional immaturity and spiritual. To not be able to sit in presence with yourself is, we're in a crisis of it. So this year, turn that around by the awareness of that. It's how we dismantle matrices or constructs, is through awareness and then gritting it through our actions. Okay. So one of the ways that I'm um, helping to build more of a community is I have an ES center. It's called the Earth Angels Healing Center, where I train healers. And once you complete my healer training, you can join me on the site, okay, and offer your healing business and healing arts. And stand together with me and be a prayer warrior with me. And there's community chat that goes with that. And also considering bringing community chat back to Journey with JoJo, which is it's it was really positive the first run that I had it, and then the second big wave that I had, I stopped with the group chat. I'm thinking about finally bringing it back because we need it, and I think that you guys want it. Let me know if you do want like some sort of community chat. Um, I haven't had it for like probably almost a year now in the journey, but it's important to have these spaces where you can be authentic and yourself and be vulnerable and say like, I don't know, but I'm still here. A lot of times we don't show up because we're afraid of being wrong. We're afraid of being judged. We're afraid of speaking up and stuttering. We're afraid of people mocking us. It's a cruel world, you know. um, I know people, like, I have tough skin, so like I grew up, having jokes and being clowned on. Like, I'm not phased by it. But when I got older, like in the real world, it's not my family like saying this stuff to me. I'm like, making fun of the way I walk and talk and act. It's like, it's crazy. It's bullying. There are so many bullies out there. And my story isn't even that extreme, but bullying is a thing. And manipulating others for control is a thing. And narcissists are on the rise. So that frightens us from stepping into the circle. And also with the crisis that we see within families, it also makes us want to be reserved because we felt so much judgment in family circles, or we felt shamed, mocked, punished, that we continue to hide ourselves and don't step forward in other communities because we're predicting that it's not going to be safe. So we have to really work together to dismantle that and create spaces where we can be authentic together. So that could be an objective too for you this year. How are you going to create more community building for us all? How are we going to solve this feeling of being isolated crisis that we're in? Maybe starting grassroots campaign in your local city, hosting, like with church, it used to be like Bible study night. You won't see me doing that, but something like that, where it's like you gather and pray. And let me know if you're local and you'd be interested in something like a prayer circle or in person, like spiritual talk with tea or something. Let me know in the chat. I'm in Frisco, Texas area. So North Dallas, Texas. I'm so down for that. Um, it's important right now that we get off of, being in the phones and we connect face to face with people. So if you would like a reading, drop your question in the live chat. I just need your first name. I'm offering evidential mediumship readings tonight. So if you'd like to speak with a loved one on the other side, including pets, I just need your pet's name and loved one's name, as well as soulmate questions, work and money, life contracts, spiritual clearing and healing. I'm open to any questions today. It's already been almost an hour and I'm just sitting here just rambling. But I feel better that I came on here. So there's probably messages that spoke to people. Let me know in the comments if anything I said tonight spoke to you. And this is a safe space. I'm just going to say that because a lot of us are sensitive souls and we don't want to speak up, but speak up. Okay? Let this be your training grounds for revival, reviving your authenticity, reviving your soul's language and your true voice. Okay, it's safe here. We're not going to mock you or whatever. No shaming at jojoempathic. I'm going to keep doing these pop-up page shows. I have not had the best success for like the past so many months. And I'm so adamant at like wanting this to work, but maybe with more followers, because I still am just like a baby on YouTube still. So maybe as I grow, we'll have more participants. So yeah, you've heard me say it before, 2026, I'm dedicated to YouTube. I'm so dedicated and focused and it's moving along. So I'm going to keep at it. But I like this though, like how it's really cool to be on YouTube these days, how you can connect with people live. I love that. So tomorrow's video, I didn't make a really long video. I have a short clip. It's going to spark something in you. It's going to trigger awakening, trigger awareness, and it's going to be very connecting. So I'm excited for that. I'll be taking any last calls for readings tonight, evidential mediumship, messages from loved ones on the other side, including pets, spirit guides, angels. So, with closing messages from Spirit, if you think about chakras being blocked, think about like clogged pores. It's like it blocks. Nothing can come through. It's just an annoyance when you have like a buildup of blocked pores. So when your chakras become loaded with energy debris, whether this is energy from emotions, thoughts, feelings from atmospheres, whatever it may be, from the food you're consuming, the chemicals you're involved with, from household cleaning to automotive, and there's chemicals everywhere, beauty industry. When we have our chakras, which are energy centers, which are very real, we can't see them with the naked eye, but they're very, very real. When you start tapping into your intuitive power and you begin to manipulate your own chakras and you feel an instant shift, mark this day. It's amazing. You know your power is real. You feel the shift in the physical body. So I encourage everyone listening to figure out your chakras this year. Where am I holding stored energy? Where is my energy blocked? And become more familiar with the communication with your body. And it's almost as if you're tapping into an information system that is guiding. I'm going to conclude this. If there's no more questions, this will be the last chance to post your questions in the live chat. I'm going to do I'm going to share a little meditation you could do for clearing, let's say, sacral chakra imbalances. So maybe ovarian cysts, fibroids. Um, I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe or diagnose anything going on with the sacral chakra because I've been talking about shame tonight. And so the second chakra up the spine is the energy center that really resonates in balance with shame and guilt. And when we hold these energies in the lower chakra there, the second one, we can block our power, our creative essence, our sensuality, our sense of pleasure, our direction in life. The second chakra is so important. It's like a gold mine for you. Your money is influenced by your waters. Second chakra resonates with sacred water element, while the first, the earth element. So, sacral chakra, we want to be fluid with life. We want to have fluidity with the matters of the second chakra. So, tune in to this energy center. A lot of us struggle with imbalances here. First, understand which side of the body is really affected. Understand your yin and yang energy. Understand how it ties to lineage. And let's say you're dealing with right side pain, okay? Right lower belly pain or ovarian pain. You feel there's a cyst there. So, again, out of the medical world and into the spiritual world, this is symbolic of tie to paternal energy. So whenever we have a cyst or a mass or a tumor, it's usually a blockage of energy and everything begins to form like a physical mass. So we want to understand, where did the block tied to paternal energy and my creativity, my authenticity, my sensuality, my pleasure, where did it get blocked tied to paternal energy? And you might notice, like, with your own, like, father wounds, maybe you have daddy wounds, maybe you had abusive family on the paternal side. But when you tune in to the information system there and you see, okay, I've got a cyst here, I've got a mass, I'm blocked. One of the things you can tell yourself, and we see the situation that we're maybe the root trauma of where the shame began or the guilt began, you began to hold it. You can begin to speak to your body and tell yourself, maybe with your hand over your heart and womb space. And by the way, even if you don't have a physical womb, you do have the womb space. So you can put your hand there and start talking to your body and say, it is safe now. I'm going to reach for you guys what to say, because I have this written. This is really good. What's happening is that the body's saying that you're not safe in a certain situation. So notice when you get like flare-ups or when you start to get sick with any, you could apply this to different diseases, okay? This is a spiritual meaning. I'm not a doctor. I can't prescribe or diagnose. But often, once you give awareness to when you actually start to not feel well, you might notice relationships are coming in and out of your field, your space. So this is calls, texts, communication in some way. What your body's saying is like, I don't feel safe when this person is near. And your body clenches. You get into survival. Your throat closes. You're quiet. You're timid. You're pulled back. And this will persist until you face it and make changes in your relationships, whether this is no contact or just setting healthier boundaries with this person that's bringing your body into the state. And it's not them, it's the remembrance. Your cells remember. So, what's happening when every time, let's say, paternal energy comes by and you start to get, let's say, a flare up on the right side of your body is telling you you don't feel safe. And you can trace it back to an incident where you might say, oh, yeah, growing up, I didn't feel safe with my dad, or he was very angry and he did kind of quiet my voice. And so your body, through memory, is wired to put that protective mode up. So there's a whole biological response that's happening, and therefore you get the biological imbalance. But it's spiritual, it's energy, it's memory. Okay? So listen to what the body's saying when certain people, relationships, or challenges come up that you're like faced with. Could be every time you start a new job, you start getting horrible headaches. Um, it could be every time your boyfriend comes by, you start feeling really small and your throat closes. Same with your boss. Every time that this man comes around, you just fear him. You don't feel safe. And you maybe start to feel it in the lower back. Where in your body are you holding the reaction to not feeling safe? And you rewire your brain. You rewire your subconscious to let yourself know you are safe. You are good to continue to exist, okay? 'Cause a lot of times we feel like we can't exist from people that are abusive, neglectful, or just not aware and cross boundaries. And so you might say something like, when this person is around, I tend to lose myself. Now, let's backtrack. This is so huge and happening with so many different relationships. I see this all the time when I read people. We go around different environments and we lose us. We lose our authenticity to fit in, to have approval, to not look crazy or ill or what have you, to fit in the box. And it's human nature, especially if you've been, subconsciously trained that way. Okay. So when we start to feel like we lose ourselves and we're not allowed to exist, we begin to feel that you're not safe and you have to contract your body. So, what you can say, I have it here, is whoever this person is, whether it's your boss, your boyfriend, whether it's your mom, your sister, um, work friend, childhood friend, whoever it is, your body gets a reaction from them just getting in. They're thinking about contacting you. You do no contact, and they just start thinking about you, and all of a sudden you start getting sick with the same illness every single time this happens. Okay, say this person's name. Don't ignore your intuition or act like this is imagination. If you've been on a chronic health journey, you start to see the patterns finally. If you allow yourself to say, every time I go into this environment, I'm down with a cold. Every time I go over to this person's house, I lose my voice. Every time, XYZ, I get a new job or somebody comes into my field, okay? Say this person's name. So, Jordan. I won't use my name. I'll say Foxy. So you could say, Foxy, you are no longer in charge of my existence. My body is safe now. I'm allowed to exist, create, and thrive without you. I love that. Tell yourself, your body, you can relax. Roxy cannot harm us anymore. And I think that's a really powerful shift in your body that you'll feel when you begin to identify every single time so and so comes around, you get this illness. Or every time you go in this situation, you get this illness, okay? And you begin to tell yourself and rewire that you are safe to exist. Maybe you need to do a forgiveness exercise. Maybe you need to do cord cutting, and definitely supplement with like energy healing, Reiki, If you've never had these type of sessions, you're missing out. They're so powerful if you get them done with the right practitioner, like someone that is good. It's life changing. Life changing. So, and often when we do this work of clearing by ourselves, you do need to sweep. Okay, so do need to sweep it out. Sometimes it can be more of that motion, but it all needs to cleanse out. Okay, so Reiki is great for that, and so is quantum energy healing. So that's what I have for you guys. If you're still tuned in, I'd be curious also to know if you try that meditation, if it works for you. If you have like something that you want to know the spiritual meaning of, feel free to drop a comment on this video and let me know, and I'll try to include a video on the spiritual meaning of it. Okay. So I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you. I might pop up this weekend too to see about this again. I'm going to keep trying. We got to shift in the energy. Huge shift. I'm like, wow, total shift of light and energy right now. But I'm not going to sit and wait any longer because I've been here for almost an hour and 10. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Stay tuned.